There are 298 prisoners on death row in the state of Florida. This is part 13 of the series. Joshua Nelson, 46 years old, 27 years on death row. In order to escape the city of Cape Coral, Joshua Nelson and Keith Brennan devised a scheme to kill Tommy Owens, a friend, and steal his car. Nelson and Brennan lured Owens to a lonely street under false pretenses, knowing that Owens kept a baseball bat in his car. Nelson persuaded Owens to get out of his car, then whacked him with the baseball bat. After receiving many hits, Nelson and Brennan chained Owens' arms and legs before he collapsed to the ground. Owens begged for his life and promised to give up his car, but Nelson and Brennan talked it over and concluded that they should kill Owens in order to avoid being apprehended. With a box cutter, Brennan attempted to slit Owens' throat. However, Owens was still awake when Brennan started stabbing him, and he asked Nelson to hit him with the baseball bat to knock him out before Brennan continued. Brennan had what he wanted, but he kept on stabbing. Before taking Owens' body to nearby bushes, Nelson and Brennan proceeded to hit him with the bat. Later on, Owens passed away. Tina and Misty Port were picked up by Nelson and Brennan in Owens' car, and the four of them drove out of town. They stopped in Daytona, then drove out of the state to New Jersey. Over the course of the journey, Tina and Misty were told that Nelson and Brennan had killed Owens. The two women both testified at the trial. Nelson confessed on camera and on audio after Brennan and Nelson were captured by law police in New Jersey. In his confession, he provided a comprehensive narrative of the murder that took place both where the bat was found and where it actually happened. At the trial, the jury saw the video that had been recorded. A DNA match to Owens was discovered on Nelson's blood-stained shoes, the box cutter, and a pair of underpants wrapped around the box cutter, according to testimony from a Florida Department of Law Enforcement analyst. James Guzman, 59 years old, 7 years on death row. Around August 5, 1991, Martha Cronin and James Guzman moved in together at the Imperial Motor Lodge where they met David Colvin, who also lived there. On August 10, 2001, at around 3 p.m., Guzman admitted to Cronin that he had slain Colvin and stolen a diamond ring and some cash from him. Later, in the spring of 1992, Guzman also spoke with a cellmate by the name of Paul Rogers about how the crime had been committed. Colvin's body was found face down on the bed of his motel room on August 12, 1991. He had a left-hand defensive wound in addition to 19 stabs, incisions, and hack wounds to the face, head, back, and chest. The body was covered in blood, and there was also a lot of blood on the walls. The light bulb over the bed was where a twisted and bent samurai sword was discovered. Robert Rhys, 70 years old, 26 years on death row. In order to rob Paul Edison, Robert Rhys and his sidekick Hope Siegel planned the theft. Rhys used a knife to murder the victim during the heist. Rhys instructed Siegel to grab a gun, which he did, and began questioning the victim while holding it to the head. Rhys shot a non-lethal bullet into the victim's skull after he refused to cooperate before asking Siegel to get a knife. He then proceeded to slit the victim's throat, killing him. Rhys denied having any knowledge of or involvement in the incident after being detained, but Siegel provided a thorough statement that implicated them both. Albert Holland, 65 years old, 26 years on death row. According to Thelma Johnson, Albert Holland asked her whether she had a hitter, a device used to smoke cocaine, when he approached her. Despite Johnson's denial, she led Holland to a forested spot with the aim of sharing a cocaine joint. Holland then proceeded to smoke the first half of his cocaine off of a beer can, but Johnson held back because she did not like Holland's smoking technique. Holland became aggressive after smoking the second half of the rock. Johnson pleaded to Holland not to kill her as he pushed her to the ground, held her down, and beat her on the side of the head with a bottle. Holland continuously threatened to murder her while he thrashed her. Johnson's shirt was torn by Holland, who also unbuttoned his pants. Johnson was compelled to have sex with Holland. When a witness shouted for Holland to stop before killing Johnson, he stopped striking her and fled the area. Johnson needed major plastic surgery because of her severed ear, fractured skull, and numerous facial injuries. Police officers reacted to a call about the assault and started looking for the culprit. Officer Winters got out of the patrol cruiser and told Holland to touch the vehicle. Holland gave in to the demand. He pivoted and swung at Winters' head as he reached down to activate the radio on his belt. After a fight, Winters placed Holland in a headlock. Winters kept attempting to use his nightstick to knock Holland to the ground, but Holland kept getting up and turning, forcing the two to face one another. Before leaving the scene, Holland was able to steal Winters' gun and shot the officer twice. According to police, Winters called for assistance at 7:25 p.m. and reported being shot at 7:26. Winters' gun had vanished by the time the police arrived. Due to gunshot wounds to the lower stomach and groin, Winters passed away at around 8:30 p.m. Wayne Dottie, 50 years old, 10 years on death row. American double murderer Wayne Charles Dottie is now on death row after killing fellow prisoner Xavier Rodriguez, 21 years old, on May 17, 2011. Michael Bell, 53 years old, 28 years on death row. On December 9, 1993, Michael Bell was given 2 death sentences for the murders of Jimmy West and Tamika Smith. Theodore Wright killed Michael Bell's brother earlier in 1993. Wright said he shot in self-defense, which led to the incident being classified as justifiable murder. Bell pledged to his friends and family that he would kill Wright in retaliation for the death of his brother. On the evening of December 9, 1993, Bell saw Wright's car in the neighborhood. He went back to the area where he had first seen his car, gathering 2 of his pals and an AK-47 assault rifle he had bought the day before. Bell didn't know that Wright had sold the car to Jimmy West, his half-brother. Bell waited for West to leave the club after spotting the car in the parking lot of a bar. After some time, West, Smith, and the third female started to leave the lounge and get into the car. Bell entered the vehicle from the driver's side, unlocked the door, and opened fire from a close distance. Smith passed away from 4 bullet wounds while traveling to the hospital, while West died instantly from 12 bullet wounds. The other female was able to duck to avoid being hit by the bullets. Bell opened fire at the spectators gathered outside the club before running to his aunt's house. Bell also had other murder convictions. In 1989, he shot and killed LaShawn Cowart and her 2-year-old son Travis. The 3 were driving together when Bell stopped, exited the vehicle, and opened fire on the mother and son. Afterwards, an accomplice vehicle came and picked up Bell. In 1993, Bell shot and killed Michael Johnson, the boyfriend of Bell's mother. After the couple had an argument, Bell went to Johnson's house and shot him to death on the front porch. Please hit that subscribe button if you like my channel. See you next time. Bye bye.